I think that is quite unfortunate because with some of these scandals, when you live in a country and you virtually have nothing to do, and you see monies belonging to the state being sunk into senseless enterprises like this National Cathedral thing, the whole idea, whoever conceived that particular idea, I don't know where it came from because it didn't make sense to start with. We've gotten to a stage where, because of globalization, the countries are trying their best just to take advantage of the emerging technologies and other stuff to advance, trying to position their people to take advantage because the world is in a competition, whichever way you say it. Look at the geopolitical arena, what is going on? America, China, Russia. There is a sharp competition in every sphere of life, technology, military, economic, everywhere. So with this thing in mind, and with some of these things like robotics, AI,
machine learning,
whole lot of things are coming up. And your people need to take that advantage. And somebody will sit down and conceive that we need to build a cathedral for God. It's one of the most senseless enterprises I have ever come across in recent time because it didn't make sense. But you need to invest in young people, make sure they have a future, make sure some of these opportunities are created for people to take advantage. It will take care of the unemployment situation that has always been on the surge. And when people are working and we have it in excess, or maybe and you want to do some of these things, you could have done it. But against the odd, everybody in this country at the table speaking against this whole thing. And we have some men of God who connived and deceived the president. Oh, it's a nice thing to do.
Everybody is a man of God.
So,
this whole thing about because somebody wears a clerical collar, they have direct access to God.
Yes.
Well, for me, it's a fallacy.
Yes, but it's just a
fallacy.
It's just a description just for people to know the kind of people I'm referring to. We saw them on TV advocating for this thing, but these were people who should have known better. These are people who assume they are closer to God. And they were the very people who were supposed to counsel the president to do the right thing. But they're the very people who were ushering him into taking some of these senseless decisions. At the end of the day, what happened? We ended up sinking $58 million into a hole and nothing was completed. When it got to a point, the whole thing was becoming an embarrassing scheme. These people were just writing letters resigning from the board. I was expecting that as both people, all that they could have done was to approach Ghanaians and apologize.
In China, such people would be shot.
Exactly.
In Japan, such people would kill themselves.
Yes, because actions must have consequences.
And the least we can do is to remember that in Ghana, there is something called causing financial loss to the state. But this will be causing egregious harm and financial loss to the state. Because what people forget is if they want to really check, go see the number of inhabited houses that were destroyed.
Yes.
Where did we house the people who were living in those houses? Did we spend money to now go and house those people elsewhere? Why do we do this to ourselves? And why do the youth still think they have no power to do anything?
The impunity with which people in power engage in some of these things is quite astonishing. So for me, if you look at all these things, it were made possible because of the same division. People are divided because we had people who were on radio and TV on daily basis defending some of these senseless enterprises when they knew that this thing was not going anywhere. So at the end of the day, what became of the National Cathedral? It's a hole, but $58 million is gone. That money could have gone to Kolebu. We had a situation where the whole renal unit was shut down. People were going for kidney dialysis.
People died.
And they died. These people were virtually sentenced to death.
And an old man who naturally is closer to death than most of you younger people. Yes. Even though by grace, a good or bad man can live longer than a young person, was sitting and smiling, throwing money into a hole.
Yes.
Whilst young people were dying in the hospitals. And Ghanaians think this is party politics.
Yes. So if you are not angry, then you should be mad. If you are not angry over some of these things, you are crazy because people are dying. We are talking about life. You lose it once and that is it. These monies could have gone into some of these enterprises just to save life, but we decided to push it into a hole, and at the end of the day, nothing came out of it.